It was Thanksgiving morning when billionaire Robert Hensley, known for his cold heart and sharper business mind, walked out to check his mailbox. He lived on a hilltop estate, miles from the nearest town. Nobody ever came up here uninvited. But that morning, something, or rather, someone did. A small, shivering girl, maybe 10 or 11, with tangled hair and dirt on her face, was standing by his mailbox. Her hands trembled as she reached inside it. At first, Robert thought she was stealing. His instinct flared with irritation. But what he saw next stopped him cold. The little girl wasn't stealing letters. She was placing one inside. He shouted, "Hey! What are you doing?" Startled, the girl gasped and turned, her wide brown eyes meeting his. For a moment, neither spoke. Then she clutched the letter tight to her chest. "I'm sorry, sir," she said softly, her voice quivering. "I didn't mean to bother you. I thought maybe you could help me find my daddy." Those words pierced Robert like an arrow. He frowned, confused, but something in her voice, a trembling mix of hope and fear, made him lower his tone. "Your father?" he asked. "Why would you think I know him?" The girl looked down, biting her lip. "Because my mom said my dad used to work for a man who lived up here. Before he died." Her eyes shimmered with tears. "I just wanted to say thank you to him. For helping us once." Robert's throat went dry. Thanksgiving, a day meant for gratitude, and yet here was a child, cold and hungry, delivering a thank you letter to a stranger. Something inside him cracked. He took a step closer. "What's your name?" "Amara," she whispered. "Amara Lewis." He felt the air leave his lungs. Lewis. He remembered that name. 15 years ago, he had a driver, Marcus Lewis. A loyal man, hardworking, always smiling. Marcus had died in a car accident while delivering Robert's documents late at night. Robert had sent a condolence check to the family and moved on, never looking back, but now, standing before him, was Marcus's daughter. Robert invited Amara inside, mostly because it was freezing. She hesitated at the grand doorway, her small frame dwarfed by the mansion's marble pillars. He guided her to the kitchen, offering her food. The way she looked at the plate of turkey, mashed potatoes, and bread broke him. Like she hadn't eaten properly in days. Between bites, she explained. Her mother had fallen ill months ago. They'd lost their home. She'd found an old letter from her dad, one addressed to Mr. Hensley. It mentioned how kind his boss once was, how he hoped to make him proud. So Amara thought, maybe the man her father worked for could help them. Robert sat silently, his chest tightening. He had spent years amassing billions, buying companies, crushing rivals, building towers with his name on them. But in all that time, he had forgotten the people who helped build his empire, the ones like Marcus. He asked gently, "Where's your mom now?" "In the shelter downtown," she said. "She's really sick. They said we might have to leave soon because they need space for others." Robert couldn't speak. His hands shook as he looked at the child, her innocence and quiet strength tearing through every wall he'd built around his heart. That night, as the fire flickered in his vast living room, Robert sat staring at the letter she'd placed in his mailbox. In childish handwriting, it read, "Dear Mr., thank you for helping my dad once. He said you were a good man. I hope you have food and family this Thanksgiving. Love, Amara." He couldn't remember the last time he cried, but that night, tears rolled freely down his face. The next morning, Robert drove Amara back to the shelter. The place was crowded, mothers clutching babies, children with worn shoes. When he found her mother, her face pale and thin, she tried to stand but swayed. "Mr. Hensley," she whispered weakly. "I didn't know if you'd remember us." He swallowed hard. I should have been there." The shelter volunteers watched in awe as Robert knelt beside the sick woman, promising immediate medical help. He arranged a private hospital room for her that same day. Amara clung to his arm, eyes full of hope for the first time in years. As days turned into weeks, Robert visited often. He paid the hospital bills, found them an apartment, and started a foundation in Marcus's name to help the families of workers who'd once been part of his company. But more than charity, something changed inside him. He began spending his weekends at the shelter, serving food quietly, without cameras or reporters. He no longer wanted to build wealth, he wanted to rebuild hearts, including his own. On Christmas morning, a month later, Amara showed up at his doorstep again, but this time, with a smile. She handed him another letter. He opened it carefully. Dear Mister, thank you for helping me and Mommy. Daddy would be proud. You said before that you didn't have family, but you do now. Love, Amara. Robert pressed the letter to his chest, tears streaming again, but this time, they were tears of grace, of redemption. He looked up at the sky, whispering, Thank you, Marcus. You gave me back my heart. And from that day on, every Thanksgiving at the Hensley mansion wasn't about wealth, or fame, or luxury, it was about family, because one cold morning, a little black girl searching his mailbox reminded a billionaire what gratitude truly meant.